Go Tigers!
Ladies and gentlemen, your LSU Tigers are your 2019 National Championship game. They played Clemson. We have all of that and more. We have recruiting. We have the AP poll coming right at you. What an episode. Let's get to it. All right, so LSU and Clemson. What do you think?
Well, you got Clemson and you got LSU. The clash for the title. You got coming into this game, they were undefeated, both teams. Great season for both of them. What could have turned Clemson's season around was the North Carolina game coming into them. If they would have lost, they wouldn't be here. But they won that game, and they're here against LSU. On the other side of the ball, you got Ed Orgeron, you got Joe Burrow, and you got Justin Jefferson and Jamari Chase. You got a great offense for both teams. But on the defensive side of things, you gotta stop these offenses, and that's what came down to the wire in the national championship. As expected to be high scoring, but on the defensive ball, like I said, they have to find some stops, and that's what LSU did towards the end of the game and stopped Trevor Lawrence and their offense with T. Higgins and Travis Etienne. Interesting to note that Trevor Lawrence has not lost a game coming into this national championship, as they were going to. If they would have won this game, they would have won the national championship 3 out of the last 4 years, playing Alabama in the previous 3 games, and coming into this game playing their 4th against LSU.
Yeah, I thought towards the end of the first quarter, going to the second quarter, Clemson played a good game. They played at their own pace. Defense was stepping up, and it just seemed like they lost all their ball skill. Just the hype caught up to them. Even though they had more experience than LSU and Clemson playing in national championships the last 2 years, it's just I just can't believe they just choked.
They did, but Clemson scored the first touchdown. LSU fans seemed a little worried. It was a little early, but they scored. And then LSU just demolished.
They just pulled in Ohio State.
That was a mismatch on the outside with Jamir Chase and the DB. The DB could not contain himself because he was man coverage, and he couldn't contain himself because everywhere you look there's help on that side, but because Justin Jefferson's the key threat to the Clemson defense. But you see Jamir Chase stepped up with 9 receptions, 221 yards, and 2 touchdowns to cap that off.
Yeah, Jamir Chase, I got to say, he's one of the best players in all of college football. He is fast, strong. Even though, he's got decent height, but he is just a playmaker of the ball. If you do one-on-one on him, man, he's going to get the ball 8 times out of 10. So that's what really made the difference of the game.
Jamar Chase, what a player, like you guys just said. Also, Justin Jefferson, great catcher. Guy can catch the ball.
Yeah, he can run flies too. He's a little bit taller, but he's just a guy you can throw one-on-one up 40-yard fly routes. He comes down with the ball, and that's why he's going to be a first-round draft pick in the draft coming up.
Justin Jefferson was the threat coming into the game with Clemson's defense, as he had a massive game against Oklahoma. So they went to the number 2 receiver, and that's what caught off the 2 touchdowns made the difference in that game, as 2 touchdowns and a field goal made the difference in 17 points.
Do you think that LSU is one of the greatest teams to play college football? Is Joe Burrow one of the greatest? Like, did he have the greatest season of a quarterback in all college football ever?
I believe LSU is a top 5 team of all time. I'm gonna have to say that 95-71 Huskers and 01 Canes are definitely in the mix. Obviously, because
also the 08 Gators.
The 08 Gators lost to Ole Miss, so that doesn't really count up there. But they had a big turnaround. But they're not a top 5 team, so you're just capping right now.
All right, Tim Tebow is the best quarterback of all time, though.
I heard Tommy Frazier and Joe Burrow was okay, but we're gonna stop there. But I think LSU's had a great season. They won 5 top 10 matchups this season.
This wouldn't be possible without the O-line and the strength.
O-line and then Mr. Joe Burrow. His draft stock, he was going to be undrafted, or it's going to be a 5th round pick.
Tank for Tua, but I guess tank for Burrow, I guess.
According to Mel Kiper. I know Mel Kiper personally, so I have conversations with him. But like he said that he's drastically improved when he was on ESPN yesterday. I just can't believe he shot up like a cannon.
According to that, you got 5 offensive linemen that could draft or could be a key steal in this year's draft, according to if they're juniors or seniors. But man, those freshmen coming in from St. Thomas Aquinas, Marcus Dumerville, man, I don't see a better person in him than who can come into this program
and also
turn stuff around.
I think LSU is going to step back this upcoming year. I think they're going to be a top 10 team still, but they're not going to be in the championship. They're just losing too many guys, too many playmakers.
The wide receiver,
they're going to rebuild again. But
I want to call it rebuilding. I mean, they're probably still going to make a New Year's 6 bowl.
Yeah, they're probably going to make a New Year's 6.
Interesting to note that Ed Orgeron came into this job. He was an assistant coach. He didn't come from a different organization, so he followed the LSU mentality and came into this game into the season with the motive is to win the national championship, and that's what he did.
The great state of Louisiana.
but now next season we really get to see if Ed Orgeron, Mr. Go Tigers, is a great coach since Ed coached one of the best teams ever in a lot of people's opinions, and next year he's going to take his team's not going to be as good, so we get to see if he's as good of a coach as people say he is.
My highlight for
he's still a great coach.
Yeah.
My highlight for this game was the pregame, the halftime, and then the speech at the end of the game. It's when you have the very statement "Go Tigers." I can't even. Can you pronounce that like that?
Go Tigers!
Go Tigers!
All right.
I bet Chase can take over his job sometime with the Tigers.
All right, going into our AP poll.
Texas at 25.
Okay,
what?
Yes. LSU at number 1, Clemson at number 2, Ohio State at 3, Georgia at 4, Oregon at 5, Florida at 6, 7 is Oklahoma, 8 is Alabama, 9 is Penn State, 10 is Minnesota, row the boat, 11 is Wisconsin, 12 is Notre Dame, 13 is Baylor, 14 is Auburn, 15 is Iowa, 16 is Utah, 17 is Memphis, 18 is Michigan, 19 is Appalachian State, 20 is Navy, 21 is Cincinnati, 22 is Air Force, 23 is Boise State, 24 is UCF, and number 25 that no one understands is Texas.
Yes, 8-5 Texas. Okay, they had a great.
Whoa. They beat Utah.
I know they had a great one against Utah, but that shows you the weakness of the Pac-12 this year. I mean, Texas 8-5.
Utah was on the brink.
Texas could have been 6-6.
If they would have beat Oregon, they would have replaced Oklahoma, and you would have got a better game.
I know. I didn't agree with some of the bowl matchups this year, but I mean Texas can play in a bowl game. I can tell you that. But wow, what a way to end it. I think they had too much wasted talent this year on the field that they weren't able to show. And when I saw the Red River, like, they had a shot. It was just open at the end. Like, the athletes didn't execute the way that I saw Texas last year. We're back.
But he is back. He's coming for senior year.
I know.
But
he's going to be good.
We'll see about that. Let's all hope that he's good, because we got to see some great college football quarterback there. What other team surprised you in this poll?
Actually, if the Associated Press was, in my words, I would have Florida at 4 finishing.
Really?
But really, I had them as a playoff contender going after I saw Utah lost to Oregon towards the end of the season. And also, let me look down this list here. And it was just open. There was just opening in the 4 spot after Georgia, especially when they lost to LSU in the SEC championship. I was just thinking Florida could possibly get a bid in. If not, they're going to be the 6th seed. But they were 8 before, right?
Yeah, 9 maybe.
Yeah. But man, like, I think Florida's going to be good next season. But who else will surprise me is.
Don't forget that these are the postseason polls. So next year, Florida probably will be a lot higher in the preseason rankings, maybe 4 or 5 or 3 in that range. But right now, after the postseason of this season, they're number 6.
Yeah. Nothing really in the top 10. But if anything else, I think the Associated Press is fine right now. But the one matchup I did not get was Notre Dame and Iowa State. Why was that a matchup? I know those are the first time those teams have ever played. I just don't understand. I think it should have been Notre Dame, Memphis, Penn State, Iowa State.
Notre Dame is better than Iowa State.
I know it was just set to be a blowout. It was a big spread. Nothing else really.
Not a close in the.
But what a great season for App State.
Yeah.
Like,
Getting number 19.
They're always upset a team every year.
Huge in the program for App
And
State,
with the new coach after Steve Satterfield went to the Louisville.
All right, going on to recruiting. Is there any recruiting?
Well, Nebraska finished out in a great class. The Nebraska tradition, you do not get 5-star players unless, we only had like 2 since when the 2000 when the rankings came out when you could have stars on your name. But top 20 class, the Nebraska way, all you need to do is player development, take the green shirts off the quarterback, train those quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You get hit.
Is there anything, Ryan, about recruiting?
There isn't much that I know of, but I know about another college sport, which is basketball. There's been a lot of upsets in the last couple of
let's
weeks.
talk about basketball.
What about Ohio State? The decline of Ohio.
Four straight losses.
What about
until they beat Arkansas? Nebraska.
They beat Nebraska last night. I was watching the game, but it's Nebraska.
But you have teams that can't finish games like Duke and Clemson. That looks like on paper that looks like an easy win for Duke.
I don't know. I think Duke's not as good this year as
Duke.
it was on.
Duke. Okay, their 2 losses were 2. Stephen F. Austin and Clemson. After Clemson lost their national championship, they needed something to spark their athletic program, and they had a chance. They did.
These players were watching the national championship game the night before. Like they were balling yesterday.
Interesting to note that they played the Carolina schools, North Carolina and Duke, and they beat each other twice in the 2 games back to back. That's not so easy to do with Roy Williams and Coach K.
Don't forget that this is college basketball, so you know it's not going to be you're going to get the upsets, but it's not like in football where you know like lots of teams predicted to win are going to win. This is college basketball, anything can happen.
That's right. And also
maybe like a Loyola Chicago run in the match.
Didn't see that coming a couple of years ago.
And what about Villanova last night playing DePaul? That was a great game. Great game.
Snuck one out after Villanova choked from the free throw line and the 3-point.
It just really showed that Villanova really wants it all. They proved themselves that they can fight through the hardest times.
That's called attitude right there.
Yeah.
Even if it takes overtime against a really good DePaul team that had a great out of conference record, and that really takes some gut and attitude.
Especially they're playing Butler, who is ranked number 5 next Tuesday. That's going to be a huge showing to see if Villanova is a real test to the Butler squad.
But you still have three bad losses that Villanova took, but they do rebound after games like that.
Yeah, Gonzaga's number 1 right now.
And they learn from their mistakes. As Jay Wright's motto is attitude. You can only control attitude and effort, and that's what's on the court.
All right, yeah. All right, thank you for joining us on this episode of the College Football Podcast. I'm Ethan Bass.
I'm Ryan Scanlon.
And I'm Chase Ruge. Go Tigers!
Go Tigers, baby. LSU has won your 2019 National Championship game. We'll see y'all next week for the 2019 season recap. See you later.